Welcome. My name is Mr. Sunarine, and today we will look at how do we add mixed units of capacity. Before we go into today's lesson, we're going to get a little more comfortable with some of the measurements in today's lesson. We're going to be discussing gallons, quarts, pints, and cups. Here we see that cups are the smallest units, and we can take 2 cups and it will equal 1 pint. The next bigger unit than pints is a quart. And we see that 2 pints equal 1 quart. And from here, we see that 4 quarts will equal 1 gallon. The goal of today's lesson is we're going to be adding like terms. We're going to add quarts plus quarts or pints plus pints. The goal is that when we add up these units, we want to convert those units into the smallest units possible. So if we have a lot of quarts, we will see if we can convert it into gallons. If we have a lot of cups, we would see if we can convert it to pints, and then even quarts, and so on. So for example, 8 cups is the same thing as 4 pints, or 2 quarts. These are all equivalent, but they all mean the same thing, but you want to think about how you want to look at the fewest units possible. So here we have 8 cups, 8 individual cups compared to 2 quarts. Okay, we're going to go over another piece. We're going to be also looking at how to change an improper fraction into a mixed number. When we're doing this, to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, we have a whole number, a numerator, and denominator. In order to get our whole number, we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. For example, if we have 24 over 9, we're going to divide 24 into 9. Here we see that if 9 goes into 24 2 times, and here we also see that we have a remainder of 6. In the next part, the numerator, the remainder when you divide the numerator and denominator. So in this problem we have 6, and 6 will go on the place of the numerator. Last is the denominator, and we see that it does not change. So here the denominator of the improper fraction was 9, and here in our mixed number it is also 9. Now we're going to go into today's lesson. We're going to look at our first problem. So we're given 3 quarts plus 3 quarts. So take a moment, solve this, and see if you can convert this into a bigger unit. Okay, so again, pause the video. We're going to move on to the next slide. Okay, so some helpful reminders is knowing that when we add 3 quarts plus 3 quarts, it equals 6 quarts. We also know that 4 quarts equal a gallon. So here, this is where we're going to do a little bit of math. So since we have 6 quarts, we're going to put that as our numerator, and then our denominator we're going to put as 4. 4 stands for 4 quarts, so we're going to divide 6 into 4. And when we do that, we have 1 as our whole number and 2 as a remainder. And we notice that 2 will be our numerator, and we're going to continue having our 4 as our denominator. Therefore, our answer will be 1 gallon and 2 quarts. So hopefully this was helpful. We're going to look at another question. Now let's say you have 5 gallons, 2 quarts, and then you're going to add 3 quarts. How would you work through this problem? So pause the video, think about how you would do this, and then we will resume on the next slide. Here, we want to think about what are like terms. So here we have gallons, and then we have 2 quantities that are quarts. So the first thing what we can do is we can add the 2 quarts and 3 quarts and get 5 quarts, which is given here. So altogether we have 5 gallons, 4 quarts. 5 gallons, 5 quarts. We know that 4 quarts equals 1 gallon, so what we can do is convert 5 quarts and divide it by 4, giving us 1, when we divide 4 into 5, we get 1 with the 1 remainder. Again, that 1 goes on the top as our numerator, and then our denominators stay the same. Therefore, what this tells us is 1/4 is 1 gallon, and 1 and 1, and we have a 1 quart left over. The last thing what we're going to do is we're going to combine this with our 5 gallons. So 5 gallons plus 1 gallon gives us 6 gallons, and we have a leftover quart. So our final answer is 6 gallons, 1 quart. Now we're going to go over our last question. Our last question is, what happens when we add 5 gallons, 2 quarts, and 4 gallons, 3 quarts? So again, pause the video, think about how you would solve this problem, and we will resume on the next slide. Okay, so again, we want to think about adding like terms. We have gallons and quarts. So here we have 5 gallons and we have 4 quarts. So when we add 5 gallons and 4 gallons, we have 9 gallons altogether. Here we have 2 quarts and 3 quarts, and when we add those two values together, we have 5 quarts. I color-coded this for you so you can see that we're adding like terms. And then the last piece that we're going to say is we're going to convert our 5 quarts into gallons. And again, we're going to divide it by 4. And then here we see that 4 goes into 5 one time with a remainder of 1, telling us that we have 1 gallon and 1 quart. So we're going to add the 1 gallon and 1 quart to our answer below. So we have 9 gallons. We're going to bring that down. We're going to add that 1 gallon and the 1 quart from the problem that we just did, giving us a result of 10 gallons, 1 quart. Now we're going to move on to our summarization. So when thinking about how do you add mixed units of capacity, you first want to determine the correct conversion. For here we see 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. And then we want to change the improper fraction to a mixed number. Hopefully this was helpful. Have a great day.